Imagine you're Rambo with your fighting machine, ordered to take position 19. Rambo, the force of freedom. With the Rambo power cycle, you got what it takes to track the enemy down, make him shiver and shake. Rambo, the force of freedom. Now you got him right in your sight. You're fighting for justice, fighting for right. Rambo, the force of freedom. The Rambo power cycle with headband included by Coleco.
Chuck Norris, Karate Commandos.
Break it up, cracking down, fighting forces of evil wherever they're found.
Figures sold separately.
Location Tibet. Assignment recover stolen microchip. Protecting it was Super Ninja. Hi-ya! First, Chemo stood up to him. Hi-ya! And was downed. Then Reed Smith flew in. Hi-ya! And was grounded. But now it's his karate against mine. Hi-ya!
Chuck Norris, Karate Commandos. Chuck Norris, Super Ninja, Reed Smith, Chemo, and other figures sold separately. New from Kenner.
I promised to kill you last.
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
Boy, do I have a surprise for you.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to Talk Hard. Hopefully your Tuesday is going well, but it always is made better by hanging out here with you wonderful folks. So, Talk Hard Commando. I hadn't watched this in a while. I think Zax or maybe Phoenix or Copa did a thing on Commando, and that's the last time I've seen it. So that was like 2022, I think. So it's been a minute. It's been kind of fun to revisit this. It is full of 80s bingos, cliches, and tropes. And with me to help point those out will be IRONCASTER, my friend. What's going on, brother?
Oh, it is going fantastic. I think I'm kind of in about the similar boat to you. It's been a minute or two since I last saw this movie, and I think I was well overdue for that.
Yeah, definitely much needed smiles and laughs and that kind of thing for sure. So good to see. So we have switched over to EV Mux here on the Old Pops channel. This is our first Talk Hard here, and with us is SQUEEKA. So we will work on greeting her with some love and hugs. How are you doing, lady?
Doing all right. Sorry, I'm still kind of setting up. I jumped in as fast as I could.
No worries. Take your time. Hopefully everything's going okay for you. Doing okay?
Yeah. Doing all right. Happy New Year to all y'all Talk Hard people. Everybody here.
Yeah. All right. So yes, we'll be setting that up a little bit here, and in the meantime, we will go ahead and pull up this guy because he's kind of the man of the hour, right? So this is that's what it's all about tonight. Toxic masculinity, all of the cliches, all of the fun of the 80s that you can possibly muster. IRONCASTER, brother, you had to actually, I don't know when's the last time you've seen this movie or not, but you had to just kind of laugh at all of the silliness that the movie kind of throws at you. Did we lose IRONCASTER? Did he step out for a second? I'm sorry. I may have lost him. You there, buddy? Nope, I can't hear him. So, IRONCASTER, let me know when you're doing okay. SQUEEKA, is this the first time you've seen the old Commando?
You betcha.
So, how was that for the fun ride full of 80s shenanigans?
It was definitely 80s shenanigans. It was very much like what I've come to expect from Schwarzenegger movies too. It was quite the adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sort of wedged right between. It's right after Terminator, but before Predator. So he's really carving out his post-Terminator world of showcasing his muscles and all the action cliches, and obviously it's just the insanity of he's shooting 12 people and they're all shooting him. He never gets hit. He does finally at least take one bullet for a moment, but I don't know, completely silly, insane. So
It was
but
it
let's
was a
say
very good action flick. I'll tell you that. Like there was a lot of action.
it's a lot of fun, right? It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. This is I think sort of the if you will, I think this is sort of the quintessential 80s action movie because this has all the tropes, this has all the little things you just really want to get out of a movie like this. You want to have all those little, catchy one-liners and all. You got to have like things exploding 5 times over. You got to have, your hero being big and buff and having muscle upon muscles, and you got to make sure you get all that in there with all of it wrapped up within about 90 minutes or so.
Yes, especially the explosions when those buildings went up. I was like, yes, one more, yes. It was exciting.
It was a lot of fun, and so the great one-liners too, because this is coming out kind of we're seeing the birth of like the Stallone versus Arnold sort of era of action movies, and the one-liners and all the silliness, and Arnold really. It just seemed like this is. It's also. I mean, I know it's like violence and stuff, but it's pretty wholesome. Otherwise, they had a scene of intimacy. I don't even know if there was any needed, but there's like one quick moment with the hotel fight. But for the most part, of that, this was just a fun movie that you could kind of rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. I know as a kid, that's what we did. We just rewatched this movie like crazy. So. I will say that again, YouTube lets you give away some of those memberships as well to kind of keep people engaged and connect with some folks. And it's been great to do that, to plug those out there for you guys. So let me read off what it was helping me to do here. Punk Waddle, CJ, Ironcaster, Padawannabe, and Captain Kirk gets those. And then let me scroll down here, make sure I get the right. I'm getting used to the new tech. I see there she is. The lovely lady herself throwing out 5 more. Holy cow, lady, you're so generous. Ah, SQUEEKA, I love you so much. So generous. Those went to Earl, Jay, Drake Miller, Stephen Ransom, and Admiral Teague. So thank you so much for that, folks. And make sure you're, reach out to me. Let me know what's going on, what you want to watch, what you want to see, what should we talk about. So Roman says, Commando is that standard. And that is really true. Right? It is the standard of 80s action films. I was there 3,000 years ago. I know we were there. We were old enough to see it when this dropped. And we're that old. So,
that's so just kind of getting into that briefly. I think this is sort of the opposite of Jingle All the Way in a way, because whereas Jingle All the Way only has like one memorable line that everyone keeps going back to, to put those cookies down, but whereas with this, there's so many that like you're gonna start forgetting all of them. Don't wake my friend, he's dead tired.
I love that part. Although the plane part did leave me wondering, like, did he leave all those doors open? Is that going to cause problems with the pressure in the cabin? I must admit, I did think that. But yeah, I felt like some of them were repeats of, like, his Terminator lines and things. And I was like, aw, say something new.
I'll be back.
Yes.
The wrong, like when he's doing the gun store thing and he says wrong and shoots a guy. So that is sort of a callback to Terminator. But I think it's just and they got to be honest, the one-liners SQUEEKA start to run together because it becomes a long run of Schwarzenegger movies, and then all of the knockoffs and all the spin-offs, like you said, I mentioned Stallone, but then you have a couple Kurt Russell movies. You have so many of these that start. Obviously, we've done Van Damme. Van Damme's coming up again. Though Steven Seagal. These other movies that are kind of in the mix in the next this little 10 to 15 year run. It's just full of one-liners. Chi says, it's a Commando. Does that mean everyone's not wearing underwear? We have to keep you guessing at home, Chi. We cannot give you all of the answers. You got to use your imagination. So there you go.
Now that would be telling.
That would be some members-only content, indeed. Real Wade Gaming is here. Hey, brother. Hope you're doing all right. Linux is here. I want to see Low Spec out there. Awesome to have everybody here hanging out. If I missed you, I do apologize. Chat's going very fast, so... you guys are awesome. So SQUEEKA, you said, this was your first time checking out Commando. Do you know who Alyssa Milano is? She's the actress that plays little girl. Okay.
I watched Charmed back in the day, so yes, I know who Alyssa Milano is.
yeah, it's fun hearing or seeing the actress, because there's so many actresses that actually went out for that role, so it's funny when you watch it like this. And I guess Arnold was super sweet with her on set, like helped her do homework and was very protective of her, like, very dad, very, Hollywood dad type stuff. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. So Iron, Ironcaster, are you aware of who wrote this movie?
I am not. Please tell me.
This is famous comic book writer Jeff Loeb. This is essentially a comic book film that was centered around basically a Sergeant Rock type story. So Sergeant Rock is basically, imagine Commando in comic book form, SQUEEKA. And it didn't get made, so he made this. And the sequel to this was basically going to be Die Hard. And of course, that evolved into what we know as Die Hard. But, Arnold had dropped out and things like that. But yeah, Commando has a long history of some interesting things. This was and it's supposed to be an Israeli military person who retired and got sucked back into the kidnapping. And of course, it got changed when Arnold signed on and stuff. But it was originally set up for Gene Simmons, of all people. I know, the Kiss lead singer, which he has no real acting chops that I'm aware of that would justify any movie at all, even in the 80s. So just odd stuff. So.
Well, in a way though, I could kind of see the logic there, considering the decade. Like, this is a time and age in which we saw so many people from other, other unconventional places jumping into Hollywood and starting to get movies. Because you got to figure, you started getting you had a few years of all the people with, you had a few years of all the people from martial arts coming over and getting all these action films. You have your, you have your Jackie Chan, your Jet Li, your Chuck Norris. You've got all kinds of these crazy bodybuilders coming over. Arnold's doing movies. Just this idea of trying to leverage into people who already had some fame in other mediums, other genres, trying to come in. There's kind of a logic to it.
You can't forget Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, those splits, though, will forever live in my memory. Can't forget him.
Oh, there's more coming. There's more coming. A couple weeks from now, there could be more split. Panawanabe laughing about the tree in the opening scene. No problem. I was Mr. Universe. Yes, I carry the tree. Total vanity project.
The phone booth. Oh my god.
The phone. He just grabs and just just the door off the car. Just grabs a door off a car. It's so absurd. I have to admit, the rewatch made me laugh more than I probably have laughed before, because I try to have. This was not watching it for fun. This was actually watching it for the show. We're gonna be a little critical. We're gonna talk about some things, and I was like, oh, that is really pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. So.
Well, even forget the car door. The part where he rips out a car seat. Just
right. The seat, just to the seat too. Yeah.
Because he's in this little tiny British car, and Arnold's just 6'4", a mountain of meat trying to fit in this little tiny car. It ain't working. And then they have to go through the little checkout at the at the airport, and he has to just sit here and act normal when there's no seat behind him whatsoever.
Yeah, I love the fact that the airport scene also makes me laugh. It's quick. I wanted to know your reaction to this when she's off doing her thing, and then the security guard kind of looks out, and Arnold is literally standing behind a pole, and he does this. He's this enormous man. There's no way he's hiding behind this pole and gets not known. He's
exactly
absolutely insane.
Even with the size of the pole, it wasn't a small pole. It was kind of good sized one. But even then, I was like, okay, first off, that's not working, and second off, hide better. You obviously failed hide and seek as a child.
I did. Yeah.
I mean,
Arnold.
So I guess since we're getting into it, SQUEEKA, what did you think about the movie when we first started getting into it? We just start seeing these guys getting off all, seemingly at random. You start seeing a scene get set up, and then we have these assassins come out of nowhere. We got the garbage man coming up, and what were you expecting?
Well, I go into these movies not really expecting a whole lot, unless I've been told kind of what they're about. But even then, with Gremlins, I kind of expected some things and got a really crazy wild ride. So, for this one, I was like, okay, well, obviously it's going to have Arnold in there somewhere. And when that started happening, it really, to me, it was kind of black and white. It's something with these guys dying is going to make Arnold mad. And I was like, there's got to be some tie-in to these crazy old dudes. Really, there's got to be.
And here we are setting this up. With
the Cadillac scene, I will say, where he takes the car and he's like trying to sell the car and the guy just drives out with it. I mean, who hasn't had that idea? I'm not running the guy over, but still driving away with a car like through the window. I mean,
I think I'll take it. Or, this is like, we got the garbage guys who are going to show up just to take the trash out. Well, we got to take it out.
Yeah. Well, and he was like, on a Tuesday, and I'm like, dude, if my garbage people come on a day that they haven't informed me they're changing, I'm not going to go out there and check it out. No way. I'm just going to wait it and be like, I'll get it next Tuesday.
Yeah, he's running after whatever. Silly. Very silly. Okay, so this is a good callback. So Arnold's So Big, Saturday Night Live had this parody. This is an ongoing sketch. Dana Carvey was part of that one. This is Hans and Franz, that we will pump you up. I don't know if you remember that. You're going along with it, Ironcasters. I guess it fell into your lexicon. SQUEEKA, do you any references to the pump you up thing?
I've never seen an episode of Saturday Night Live.
Oh. Yeah.
I feel
please don't make a face palm at me, Ironcaster.
I feel like we almost have to watch Wayne's World now just because.
It's not in Wayne's World though.
No, but she says she hasn't seen any SNL. So what about all the SNL sketches that got movies?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know of some things and some skits. Like I know Party on Wayne, Party on Garth. I think
probably what might be a better one to go for is the Blues Brothers.
I've seen the Blues Brothers movie, so I didn't know that was an SNL thing.
Yeah, here's Hans and Franz. This is the we will pump you up. Yeah, it's the silliness making fun of you little loser wimpy boy. You know. Super great, super fun. Yeah, and I really enjoy. Hey, oh man, good. I'm in the chopper. Yes.
I'm surprised he didn't say anything about the chopper when he was in it. I was waiting.
Even they
call the chopper or whatever. Like,
I think it's just even they knew. Like, no, we can't go. We can't push it this far. Like, we're already like letting off some steam, and we're having all the lines about like, oh, he's dead tired.
Oh, let off some steam is definitely one of the most memorable lines for sure. Everybody, I think that's what they called one of their featurettes. You know, they do what the little making of type videos or whatever. One of them I think is letting off steam is what it's called. It's completely. I mean, they lean right into some of this stuff. So I know because Loki's not here, so I make sure I plug in a couple of gaps for everyone. So this whole thing about this island that he has to get to, where they take the girl, his daughter's being kidnapped, they take her away, so he's being sucked right into this life where he's like the uber Green Beret, the uber special ops. He's beyond even the pale of these people that he used to work with. He's going to be sucked into Vera Verde, this fictional island. Now, it's important to mention Vera Verde because it actually connects to Predator, because Predator is the jungle where Vera Verde is. So there's a couple other references and things of that nature that works. Plus, this has Bill Paxton briefly in it. So, again, it connects
I love Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I know the Bill Paxton references are always good for everyone involved, for sure. So
I personally didn't like the steam pipe thing, only because my logical brain was like, there should be no steam coming out of that whatsoever. If you've ever pitted strawberries with a straw or done anything with the straw and a solid, it's like, there's no way. So I was like, the joke got ruined. Sorry, guys.
It's just so silly. It was so silly. So, who was the better dad, Tony Danza or Arnold? Well, I don't know. I mean, Arnold had to mow down like 80 people to get his daughter back. How many did Tony Danza kill? I'm just saying. He might be the boss, but
who would turn down Arnold? I mean, come on. That guy can pick up his own trees.
Which one of them would you feel more comfortable like looking after the Girl Scout troop?
Didn't Arnold do something like that where he like had a classroom full of kindergartners or pre-K or something? Like he was a teacher.
That
I
was
feel like we've
Right,
talked
kindergarten
about that.
cop. Yeah. 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 Definitely a little bit later on with the Arnold comedy, where he's trying to get more into comedy. It's before Jingle All the Way. Yeah. Let's see. Copa's out there. Hey to Copa. Hope you're good. The Soul Assassin's here. So I don't know how the bad guy car crash on his side, then the looks of the looks new when they drive off. I know. Yeah, look, I mean, if you're gonna have continuity concerns with 80s action movies, Soul Assassin, you're doing it completely wrong. I mean, that's all there is to it, bro. I don't
I
want to
mean,
tell
I
you.
put a car on its side and then put it back down and drove off and only had a minor dent. So, I mean, it's possible.
Well, clearly Arnold just like punched it out, and he's like, "I have the power to buff it out because I'm so buff."
I don't have a screenshot of Sully where he dangles him over the thing and he says, I promised to kill you last. I lied, and drops him. That was the one I used in the little opening clip.
Like, what'd you
Had
do?
you
I let him go.
did you ever catch the fact that he says "ooh la la" when he gets dropped? Had you ever caught that?
I
You're
had
looking at me funny. You didn't know that, Ironcaster? I
No.
figured that would be an Ironcaster thing. The ooh
No,
la la
I was
thing.
I was too busy kind of laughing over the "I lied" and just fucking drops him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's completely nuts. Yeah, that may be one of the funniest death things ever, though. The whole ooh la la thing. Here, let's play that little clip. We'll have to trim it. So if you're watching it after the fact, folks, sorry, but here's a little clip.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
Like, what
Huh.
the? Ooh la la. What the heck? What? Oh, I felt like I was going through a Mandela effect whenever that happened. I was like, wait, hold on. I don't remember that at all. I kind of remember something weird, but not that. So,
Well, clearly what happened is we took the "ooh la la" out of Back to the Future and we put it into Commando.
all right, that's a good point. We could cut to
Ooh la la.
Marty looking at the magazine.
Ooh la la.
That's going to be my new catchphrase.
We need to talk about Arnold's Speedo. Yeah, Arnold's Speedo might be. I don't know. Is that a?
Who wore it
this is an
better,
area where
Arnold or Jean Claude? Let's be honest.
You tell me.
I asked first.
I think that the muscle bound Arnold stuff always looks a little silly in the Speedos, like the bodybuilding look. But I mean, John Claude is just like this super fit dude. But I don't know, not my thing. Doesn't do anything for me, just to be perfectly honest. Ironcaster, do you got to vote?
I don't know. I think he kind of fills those out better.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not trying to like simultaneously do the splits.
I was about to say he didn't do the splits in it. I mean, don't know. I mean, I think Jean Claude has quite the bubble booty, so I think he's
Like,
got a
okay,
better
Squeeka, hear me out on this. Would he get extra points if he was simultaneously getting into the cockpit?
Maybe.
Wow.
I had to try.
Copa's point out that there is one of the documentaries where Ray Don Chong, which is Tommy Chong's daughter, completely roasts the entire. Now, I don't understand why she gets to roast anybody because, like, her career took off, I believe, because of Soul Man, and she did this one, and her career basically ended because she's pretty awful in this movie. But she's probably one of the worst elements of this movie. But it doesn't surprise me.
The best part about this movie with her is where she has that big old monologue where she's like, I get kidnapped and all this stuff. You steal my car, rip the seat out, you kidnap me. Are you going to tell me what's going on or what? Arnold just looks over. No.
He already told her what was going on, and then she snitched on him. Like,
Yep.
He was honest with her up front. Like, look, this what's going down. And then she has the audacity to be like, tell me what's going on. And I was like, even when she asked and he said no, and I'm like, serves you right. You should have listened the first time.
Like they tried. It's do you see remnants of where they tried to make her more of an element in the film, but it's like we really could have just cut her out of the movie entirely and like made it so that Arnold like knew how to fly planes. I don't think at that point. I don't think at the point of like they need to steal a plane, anyone would have questioned it at all. The thought that Arnold can fly a plane if he's already this badass commando who could do all this stuff and like eats green berets for breakfast. That surely he could fly a plane.
Yeah, I agree. It was just awful. She's just totally shoehorned in. Like I said, they didn't have a good chemistry. They were quote awkward. That's how the sex scene, whatever that entailed, got cut. That's why it's a little weird at the end of the movie where it's like this hugging moment with Alyssa Milano, whatever. It's like, why are you hugging this lady? She doesn't even know who this lady is. And whatever. Here's this lady I kidnapped to save you.
But somebody had
all
to
right,
read the receipt. I mean, she had a necessary role, right? That receipt was important.
The fuel, right? She recognized the fuel, and that was the then we get to this guy.
Me.
Let's see,
This guy. Now let me wait.
Let's get to this guy. So Vernon Wells seems to be having many antagonists during this time. A 9th season of Power Rangers. That's a good callback, man. Playing Ransky, but
he's a great villain in that.
Yeah, he's Freddie Mercury on steroids is how he described himself. I guess it's this outfit that he's wearing, which is obviously too small for him because they changed actors, but didn't really care for Bennett too much. Just never felt like Bennett could be able to hold his own to Arnold. What did you think about Bennett, SQUEEKA?
I didn't like him. I didn't feel like he was. I agree. Like I didn't feel like he was cast correctly with him. Like he didn't seem like a legit antagonist. Like he was just kind of halfway in it, and then especially at the end where he's like, I don't know what was up with that fight scene. Like he should have just shot him, but I get the point that they needed to fight. But even then, it just I don't know. He just seemed off the whole movie, and I couldn't put my finger on it. But I wanted him to be tougher, but not in the grungy kind of way he was. Like he seemed like there's a lot of bravado, but even then it wasn't real bravado. Like the kind of like Schwarzenegger is like, yeah, I'm tough. I know that I eat green berets for breakfast. But this guy just, it was like he was wearing this weird military suit that he didn't fit into.
Yeah, right. It's so distracting at times. So I don't know. What do you think, IRONCASTER? We're being too hard and all that?
Oh, I mean, you're not wrong. Bennett, he is a kind of a memorable villain in his own way for being this kind of like swolled up Freddie Mercury. But like the thing that always stands out to me is like that weird knit top he's always wearing. Like it's like, is it supposed to be chainmail on him? Like that's every time I see that's where I always think like he's so worried about getting shot or stabbed that he's got this like wimpy little chainmail like vest on.
I was curious about that too. Was it chainmail or is it knit?
I'm pretty sure it's just knit. So I guess I just gotta like chalk it up to it was the 80s, so you can justify anything at that point.
Yeah, I don't know the costuming choice there. Like I said, I think this is why they made the Freddie Mercury, gay guy queen reference and all that, because it just looks terrible and cheeky the whole time. And as you say, I had such a hard time buying that he would remotely be able to hold his own against Arnold. I don't know. Like I said, I try to watch this a lot more for those type of moments and stuff, but yeah, this is that outfit, man. And the mustache and just no. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Ray, when she tries to blow up the car, but she's behind her, just kind of look down for a laugh. I don't know. It made me it makes me giggle, but I don't know. Not because she even knows how to do it properly. I read the book, so at least there's a line trying to explain it away.
Like it's little things like that can work, but at the same time, it's like we can work an A line to kind of make it okay, but then you have the baggage of having to carry the character around for the rest of the film. So, is that one line really worth the introduction? The introduction of the character, just to that, and also be the to be the female lead that slowly gets to go and harass and go, you fucking whores. He's not even he doesn't stand any kind of chance with her.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of sort of odd casting and odd moments that they're kind of going for. The film kind of represents sort of it like Predator. You're actually rooting for the characters to survive. In this movie, you just see a lot of weird characters that were thrown together, and I don't think that it works as well. But again, the movie's just designed as just pure action fun and not to really be thinking about these kinds of things. And that's really all there is to it. That's what SQUEEKA was thinking. She's like, just show more of this. This is what I want. She's like, I'm just,
Yeah, I stopped trying to care about the plot. I mean, I was like, what's going on? Why is this? Who is it? I just gave up. I was like, you know what? It was funny because I was like, can you just raid, get a bunch of guns and let's just do some blowing up stuff. And then sure enough, they got the bulldozer and took out the building. I'm like, yes, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Let's suit up and head out, guys.
All of it serves just to justify getting a shirtless Arnold looking as well defined as he's ever been. This has got to be peak Arnold for Hollywood.
Yeah, this era where he's just, this is from Conan through Predator. He is just top tier. This is just nuts how bulked up he is. Yeah, really good stuff. I don't know. How about you wonderful people in chat? What else we got over here saying? Lots of folks are here. Lady Mist. Christian Phantom Geek. Hey, brother. What's going on, man? Great to see you.
What I want to know out there, everyone in chat, what was your favorite one-liner from this movie? Because there are so many to go around.
Boy, that is true. There's a ton of one-liners for sure. Let off some steam, Bennett. I know. That sounds crazy. That one's a little rough, but I get it. It's literally just one line of craziness.
A guy I knew for years wanted me dead. I've only known you for 5 minutes and I want you dead.
Yeah.
That
I
was
will
pretty funny.
Though, this movie, I sat here in school today, and one of my kids, I was like, "You're my favorite," and my first thought was, "I kill you last." I was like, "No, I can't be thinking these things."
They let off some steam.
No, I was like, "I like you." I said something, but it made me think of that line. I was like, "No, I can't. What has this movie done to me?"
SQUEEKA's quoting Commando to her kids, and now we're going to be in trouble soon.
We've tainted her.
The ooh la la, the drop, the I lied line always makes me fun. And the guy's dead tired, obviously. Dead tired one's kind of funny. What else is chat saying?
I don't need the gun. I don't need the knife.
I need the knife. Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird... I kind of didn't really remember that sequence as much, but it's Arnold's pretty much done. The guy's got a gun on him. So she just starts talking smack about, your macho. You can just take me on hand to hand, right? You can just beat me. And I'm like, okay, well, this is so unbelievable. But yeah.
Well, and then he falls for it. And that was the last straw for that little dude. I was like, oh my God, I'm so done with you. I hope he hits you in the face with that really hot door. I was hoping that he would end up in the furnace. The steam thing was nice too, but I was so done with him at that point.
Well, the thing is, though, it kind of does work in a way, considering everything we've seen with Bennett has been set up to suggest that he got kicked out of the unit because he's a sick, twisted guy that Arnold wanted nothing to do with. I don't want you in my unit. You're kicked out. And so it's it ruined his career from that. And so now he's always held on to this resentment to the point where he's willing to go out and try to kill the guy for free when he's offered money. He's like, no, I gotta do it.
He
Right.
did Sick and Twisted
No, I mean,
about as well as those 80s costumes worked for Halloween with the weird masks and stuff. I mean, he did not do even Sick and Twisted well.
yeah, yeah. We I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you really a lot on that too, Squeaky. Because I just this this stuff. It was just I felt like there was just I don't know miscasting, whatever. And it's again, I have fun watching this movie. Don't get me wrong, guys. But yeah, so I don't know.
His face doesn't fit either. That's like I'm like he's got a pretty boy face that's not an evil pretty boy. Like it's just silly. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Just I don't. Something was off with him from the get go.
Yeah, Fred brings up Twins. That's the Danny DeVito one. Comedy as well. I think that does predate Kindergarten Cop. I don't remember the order. So
I don't.
the I'll be back Bennett line. Yeah, the I'll be back line callbacks. There's a couple callbacks to Terminator for sure. Yeah, Arnold was definitely playing the whole, vanity project and calling back his other stuff and that kind of thing. So, what do you got here, Ironcaster? This is just a better shot of him.
What? I can't. Why are you doing this to me? I see why. His face. Ugh. I would
these
love this
images.
movie more if I didn't have to see this guy.
I feel like they were just okay with the overacting and over the silliness and whatever. But I guess, when you're mowing down like 80 people and you don't really get hit. And then when you do get hit, you don't leave the shed. You're actually high. You swing right. I mean, so he was like, wow, this movie's crazy over the top. And I think that's really the best way to sell it. It's just literally like 80s over the top fun. And, we could kind of smile along the way. Wait for Bill Paxton to show up. Because I don't know anybody else. I saw that scene. I'm like, oh, hey, Bill Paxton.
Yes,
Right.
he just it's like out of nowhere, little radar guy, and I paused and I was like, Bill.
I got
He
a
would have
picture of
been a
Bill.
better
Where'd he
bad
go?
guy than this guy. He's silly.
Yeah. I don't know where it went. I had a picture of Bill pulled up for a second there. I don't know. What do you think, Ironcaster? What's the Ironcaster verdict on Bennett? Squeak and I have kind of like piled on how it's kind of our least favorite element in a lot of ways. I think you're muted, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like I said, not Bill Paxton. Bennett is just kind of a ultimately forgettable part of this movie. He's ultimately just kind of part of the movie, just to have a character who just hates Arnold that you want to see get beaten up because, then we gotta have someone who's gonna turn around and who's gonna go ahead and kidnap his daughter. So we gotta go ahead and have that element of it, which we start the movie off with such over the top, oh, he's the perfect father. Look at how idealistic this family is. We're feeding wild deer by hand.
Oh, I have to be honest when Alyssa Milano's character shoves the ice cream in his face and he giggles. It's like it literally is like 80s TV show silly. This type of stuff where it's just the over the top. We're feeding a deer. You're like, what is happening? I forgot all of this for sure. 100%. Yeah.
We're gonna get into
a shot of the
chicken
ice cream.
fights.
Yeah, I'm going to get you with the pillow and knock you through the wall or something like that.
They got me.
You got me. Good job. Oh, man. That's so funny. Let's see. Bennett is Freddie Mercury with too many steroids and McDonald's meals. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I believe it.
He's definitely not fitting into that Freddie Mercury gear for sure.
I want to burst free.
Wow.
I'll go to Arby's.
Arnold's laughing with you.
I get some
A good
ice
one.
cream.
That good one. That's good one. Costa. Go back around to Bill. We got to just give because Bill showing up always makes me. I did like you, Squeeka. I paused for a moment and just honor Bill for a minute, and then we probably should say something about that. I don't know. Whatever you want to talk about. This movie's just so crazy and full of stuff. Trying to think of the other. I'm trying to think of some of the other quotes that really stood out to me, but I think we already hit most of them. Dead Tired. We talked about that one, right? Dead Tired. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to shoot you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, finish your quote. I want to hear your.
Oh, the one where Bennett says, "I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot you between the balls."
Oh, yes.
What?
Not gonna lie, I was excited about the island scene, like where he just starts kind of doing his army thing, and he starts hunting people down. I was very excited that the explosions started happening because at first the rocket launcher was kind of cool, and I was like, "Come on, Arnold, you can do better than this. I've seen better than this." And then the buildings went up, and I was like, "Yes, that's my
now we're
boy."
seeing it. Yep. And he's just mowing people down. Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of explosive he planted for such a short time, not gonna lie.
I have a lot of it.
The Bill? Yes.
Oh, Bill.
Just Paxton fan club moment for sure. It's been killed by a predator. It's been killed by a Terminator. It's killed by an alien. But he's here in Commando. Talking about the plane.
It's like
great stuff.
He's like, I think I'll just sit this one out.
So because he loses them, does he technically get killed by a radar too? Like, I mean, let's. Does his role get exterminated because he loses them on radar?
Yes. I'm not going in, Captain. I'm good. I'm good in this movie. I made it through True Lies too, so I'm not going in on this one. We're good.
It's like 3 times is enough for me, boss.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, so Squeaky, you hadn't seen this before, and obviously sometimes our reputation gets all kind of wacky in what we've promised you and that kind of thing. Did we sell you anything kind of like out of bounds with this movie? Like, were you surprised by anything with this movie?
Not really. A little bit, only because I mean my exposure was Jingle All the Way and Terminator, and so it's like the plot and the casting kind of and Alien, but like it kind of left me wanting, like I was like, wait, we can do better than this. But at the same time, the action started, and I just didn't care anymore. I was like, yes, more guns, more explosion. It was literally everything you could want in an action movie. So I didn't even care about the plot. I'm not here for the plot at this point.
Yeah, Commando was. Yeah, we should have probably just sold it properly. Like when we get to Street Fighter, it's just Jean-Claude Van Damme dumb. Like it's just pure fun dumb. I mean, it is dumb. Like movie's bad, but it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. And we promised you more on Jean-Claude. So there you go. 30th anniversary of that movie.
Yeah,
40th anniversary of this one.
It's one of those movies that's just sort of still kind of try to be like one of those last vestige hangovers of the 80s action movies, while it's also like leading into the fact that it's a licensed property that they're adapting from existing material. Yeah,
so the costuming and stuff is just zany at times because you're just like, what do they wear? Why would they wear this? It's like, oh, it's because from a video game. But, Just Joe also adds he loves the name John Matrix. A lot of love for the name. Yeah, again, I think that's Sergeant Rock comic book references. I think there's a piece of John comes from that. And, it's all Jeff Loeb, man. So, yeah, cool name.
Well, and I think I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll come back.
I think it fits its purpose. Like I feel like from what I've heard of the movies of this time that y'all have seen and talked about, like there's like you were saying with Stallone and everybody else, like it basically they just needed an action movie with Schwarzenegger in it because that's what everybody was doing. So here we go. Here's Schwarzenegger, who everybody is up and coming and everybody wants, and here's how we throw him in some action. So I think it just was like we a box to tick off, and I mean I think it did it kind of well. They didn't want any plot; they just wanted the action.
Man, the picture's crazy. His biceps as big as his head.
It's almost bigger.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it is because the way it's longer, so it would be bigger than his head. That's crazy, man. It's messed up looking. Oof.
Yeah, he's got those back muscles that is like it looks like he's basically developed like small wings.
Yeah.
I got the Spider-Man webbing. How do you like that?
Yeah, it's a very strange picture of what he looks like. I mean, it's just but yeah, those movies. I mean, he did stuff when he was really ripped back then too, man. That's crazy. But I was going to say it was odd because they were trying to capture the toy thing. There are Commando action figures. There's two sets, like a standard set, and then there's like a little bit bigger ones. And I couldn't find a commercial for them. That's why I used the Rambo one. Basically, all those come from the exact same era with the Chuck Norris ones and the Rambo ones, whatever. But there are Commando action figures, and they had made like fake villains and other. It was really strange, very odd. But I couldn't find I just saw people talking about them and opening, finding them and opening them, but I couldn't find a trailer to share. At this point, this week, if we haven't surprised you, nearly everything in the 80s had either or both action figures and or a cartoon. I mean, it's pretty much everything. It's crazy. If they did something, they were trying to make merch. They were trying to cash in. Probably cereal would be the other thing. Almost all of them had cereal. I don't think Commando had cereal, but most of the others had the really, really bad cereal.
I remember the toys. I never knew what they were from because I kind of got a lot of my toys in a secondhand kind of way. So I would just get these toys the way that I did, and I'd be like, "Oh, this is neat. This is, like I think I had a couple of pieces of like Voltron or something or Thundercats. Like it would just be random stuff. But oh yeah, I knew that there was a lot of movies happening when this stuff came out. But at the same time, it's like it's just cool. I got these random stuffs.
Right. Yeah, our kids were kind of raced on that too because it was more like the 90s stuff had overflowed for our kids. So I remember going to what was called KB Toys at a local mall, and they would have these clearance bins where it'd be like 3 of these figures for $5. And so they basically grew up on like one Youngblood action figure and one, it's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle random character action figure. And so they had this hodgepodge of just other stuff. And then at Christmas time, they could get the one they wanted, which was like, a Batman and a Godzilla. But they had all these other characters. And it was like, well, that's what you got, kids. I don't want to tell you. So same kind of thing. And we were like that as kids, too. We just got whatever we got. You weren't allowed to be picky. So, Joker's throwing some references here to some of the stuff that was happening back then, for sure. The cocaine and capitalism. Yeah, we've lost a little bit of that because, I mean, obviously, I think if there was some cocaine, it would probably have some better movies. And obviously, we can't blame Street Fighter for that because, I mean, obviously, there was a lot of coke stuff.
They traded in the they traded in the cocaine for the wocaine.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a line.
Yeah, literally got it. Picked up on your pun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. See what you did there. Wow, yeah.
I got my moments.
Okay, so I think I don't think you said. Did you have a favorite part of this movie? You got a favorite part?
Oh, that's the challenge because the thing is with this movie, I have so many little moments I really like, but I think for me, it's probably the moments where we have John Matrix interacting with Sully. So we get multiple like great one-liners out of that. You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. So I'm going to kill you last. You know, that really, I think he's a great, actually, really, it's just that character of Sully, I think is one of these characters who always kind of steals the scene for me because he's just kind of like this smarmy little Weasley 80s traditional villain character who's kind of like he's the brain, he's the clever guy, who's the thinker, who's getting thrown up against a mountain of muscle, who's you just want to see him get creamed.
I have to give a little more love. SQUEEKA, I think, is the one who brought it up because it is just what a great photo that someone had uploaded here. They captured this one of the phone booth moment because, yeah, what on earth? Where I was, and it wasn't like just a little bit. It's like it's one of the big giant standing ones. Like yeah, we don't have phone booths anymore. I wonder how this plays for kids this day. So some 20-something who's never even seen Commando. I have to ask my kids if they've watched Commando. There's tons of these kind of moments.
One of the things I really did appreciate as well is in watching this movie is the design, the layout of this mall, the format of it, the aesthetic of this mall. Like from like the phone booths that look like that, the elevators that look like this.
Yes.
Yeah, the elevator is pretty cool. That's pretty standard back then too.
Yeah, I used to work at
get a lot of these.
An elevator like that.
Look at the way they kept the bright color. I mean, they closed the mall where they filmed it for a few hours, so they were in there a lot. There's airplane shots. It's the Speedo again. Look at the vanity shots, man. Just it's completely crazy. Great. And they just start suiting up with stuff. Yeah. It's the quintessential shot that everybody talks about, these kind of shots. It just starts taking people out one at a time.
And I think if you back up to the suit up montage, that's one of the things that just really makes 80s movies what they are. You just want to see him just get loaded up with you just want to see the gear porn. Him putting in the stuff, putting on the blackout makeup. Him like, here's a knife going in. He's going to, because we're going to see him like pulling out all these later. He's going to like have this cool little like, punch dagger that like launches and fires the tip into the guy, and then you want to see him throw a couple more daggers and blow all the stuff up, and you're like, yes, give me more of this.
And the ammo belts and the grenades and the random, yeah. I'm like, where did he keep all this? I mean, but he's a weightlifter, so he could probably handle half the store and be all right with it.
And all of it just works in a way that we don't get today in today's films, because nowadays, especially with any like sci-fi or anything kind of remotely in that like genre entertainment area, it's all like kind of nano machines. We just kind of pull it out of like a magic pocket or something, and you lose all that fun stuff that makes these such a delight to see. Like I want to see like 5 minutes of just like a team of characters just all suiting up with like just stuff getting put into stuff and zips up and
stuff being put into stuff.
Stuffitize me.
Oh, here we go. I got one for you. There we go. Here's our IRONCASTER. IRONCASTER porn.
That's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Get that lipstick. I mean, face camouflage.
That's right. Get the face paint on. Strap on some grenades. Put your stuff in your stuff. IRONCASTER needs to be alone. Okay, we got it all figured out now. Yeah.
That's right. You put that on slowly.
He's talking to the TV. Slow down, Arnold. Slow down.
So do you watch that in slow mode? Like, do you go to this scene? Is this your favorite scene? Because Pops was asking. Is this your favorite?
Asking for a friend.
Let's just say that particular section of the VHS tape is worn out.
It can't be returned anymore. Move over Fast Times, Ridgemont High. Commando gear porn is here. Yeah, I know.
What, is there like a suit up scene in Fast Times like this?
No, there's a booby scene. It's one of the most famous paused played scenes in all of his. They made a reference to it in Stranger Things, even like one of the Stranger Things episodes. And I'm like, wow, did they? I mean, this is a show that's kind of geared towards like teen kids, but they're making reference. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. I know what they're saying, but yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. I think my favorite part was obviously Yeah, the solely over the cliff thing obviously makes me laugh. I lied. Then I heard him say "ooh la la." I think I watched that like 3 times, and of course I did the clip for our intro. And I was going to try to do it so he would fall like 3 or 4 times, but I didn't have time to clean that up in time.
Better hurry up. This is my weak arm.
This is my weak
So,
arm. I was like, whoa.
yeah.
Let me use my strong hand.
There was another part with the mall I wanted to get to, but it's just the extras. Let's just pull the extras up because I mean, we talk a lot about some of these modern movies, and we just can't. I just can't get into them, and part of it is this. It's this lack of this, filming on location with really fun extras, and you look at this guy. This is claim to fame right here, being this dude in Commando. Like that's you, Fat Tony.
Dude's bulging out.
Yeah, these two guys. There you go. Yeah.
It's like in any other movie, they would be like generic henchmen themselves.
Yep. Well, this could have been their entry point. Who knows? Their gateway back in the day.
See, I like to think that they're busy on their way off to like another movie where they have to be the villains. We just kind of caught them like in between the scene where like they kidnap someone's daughter and they're about to get executed by like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Training Day. Before Training Day, they were here. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's good. But lots of these type of characters, Look at the mall in the background, Ironcaster, with this little 100-pound security guard trying to look at.
He's like, I'm gonna go kick some. What did he say? You're gonna get to watch me kick somebody, or what? Be a badass or something. Like, I don't remember what he said, but he was like, he was so funny when he said it. Like, you get to watch me work, basically.
Yes, exactly. And then he's I'm looking at the largest man I've ever seen hiding behind a pole. Oops, I'm not going to be showing you anything. So yeah, it was good stuff for sure.
Well, even looking at the movie, just kind of seeing it and remembering like how important that mall culture was at one point, to where that was sort of the be all end all of like everything of like a certain generation of people. It was like everything was, let's go to the mall and see who we can hang out with. The stores we can go kind of, wander around in, stop by the Jamba Juice. We're gonna I'll probably stop by the arcade afterwards. We're gonna go try and we're gonna go to the Gap and act like we actually want to buy something while Jim just tries to build up the nerve to go talk to Becky.
You know a lot about our 80s culture, even though it predates you. I'm a little concerned, Ironcaster, how all this came to be, because that's exactly how we lived. Mall rats was a term for a reason. We just lived at the mall. I remember there was a time I did not actually work at the mall, and I was at the mall every single day for like 5 days for different reasons. And it was like, my mom thought something was up, like, what's going on? And I'm like, nothing, we're just going to the mall. And it was like, you're right. We'd go and so-and-so was going to go, we were going to eat here, or we'd go to the arcade, or we were going to go, see this person or that person. It just, it's kind of like that was the place until it wasn't the place. You had something else that had come up in life. But yeah, for sure.
Well,
yeah, I grew up in a different 80s, totally different.
Well, we've
different
got
80s for you, SQUEEKA. I know I'm older, so that's probably why. SQUEEKA.
We haven't touched on the motel scene very much, where they're wrestling between the rooms. Just saying.
She's trying to avoid her mall stories.
I don't have any mall stories. I never went to the mall, I just wasn't a mall person. I'm still kind of not. It wasn't. I know that was a thing, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this is like Mall Rats." I've never even seen the movie Mall Rats, but no, I was never. It was never. I was never a mall culture kid. But yeah, that hotel scene, we haven't even covered that guy.
Oh,
Bill Duke.
Yeah.
Bill Duke showing up, throwing down with Arnold.
He's the one who's
and I'm older than Pops, so I know all about the mall and stuff. So
yeah, Bill Duke showing up. Bill Duke was pretty cool in this movie too. He's a cool dude taking care of business.
You scared? Because this Green Beret is going to kick your ass. I eat Green Berets for breakfast.
Yes. It throws him to the wall through a motel wall where people are in there banging. It's like, and then it ends up getting speared on like an end table, like the leg of a table. It's crazy. It's
Oh
nuts.
well, this was the quintessential seedy motel because they weren't just banging; they were shooting a porno in there.
I missed that part.
Oh, yeah, they've got the camera set up, and like and here he is on all fours in the bed, and she's like kind of squatted behind him. So it's like, what kind of porno are you filming?
I don't know what's going on in this movie. The movie's crazy. So, yeah, Joker, we're brothers from another mother, man. Yeah, the malls was our thing. I know. I think it's just a location as well, and never seen the long list. Don't start with her. She's off limits, man. We're showing her stuff. That's our job. So we're all cruising. Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's a lot of cruising for sure. If you could, I know a really small town, so cruising was a thing. So. In tables, fourth leading cause of death.
I believe that. I believe
That's pretty
that.
good.
There
That's
was
pretty
a lot
funny.
of end tables back in the day, and it was.
There's a lot of glass in tables, not just in tables. All tables had a lot of glass, so I could see tables being a cause of. I have a scar from a table. I fell on a table. I was like 2 or 3 years old, so I have a scar on my lip right there, and it's from a table. And I threw my brother into a table, and he has a scar on his face from it. So yeah.
So fun fact: the third and second most leading causes of deaths in '80s movies was Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson.
Chuck Norris was a nice guy.
Yeah,
At least a couple times I
Chuck
met him.
Norris.
Ooh.
Here's the Sully shot. We'll just kind of revel in the Sully moment because it's just so good.
My favorite part about this is he already has like the key for the room, so he already knows where he's going. He's just doing this just to mess with him before he like drops him to his death.
Yes, my weak arm, holding you with my weak arm. And it is his left arm, by the way. It's like, oh wow, okay, yeah. That's funny. And then the mall shots. And then they have a thing where the pictures are out of order where you get like all the credits. This is the ice cream. There's that shot. And there's the deer. Fishing. Look at his outfit, man. It's great.
I'm surprised he didn't have like the windbreaker tied over his shoulders.
He doesn't really change out of that sweater for a long, long time. So, yeah. But all in all, it's a fun movie. Oh, this is a scene we should mention just briefly. So there was some editing that had to be done when he severs off the arm. So there's not a lot of different versions of this movie per se, but one is because this had to be trimmed because of that. I guess that was the element for TV or something at the time, but that was the only thing I saw on some of the interesting lists of that type of trivia was that. So, yeah. I don't know. Let's see, any other photos? It's a better picture of Bill. Better picture of that hotel room, which is quite disturbing. Don't know why we needed that.
And then there's like that. What was he like? Cuban. What was the main boss guy like? Oh, I can't remember what country he was supposed to be from. The one that kind of like hired him.
Well, the thing was he was basically from like some little island nation in the Caribbean somewhere, and Arnold has to go in and he was this beloved like commando who helped like the regime and with the American Empire, and now he has to turn around and like go in because he'll be surely accepted just showing up because. Also, he can then turn around and kill the guy immediately.
Right. This is the Vera Verde reference I made earlier. The fake island has been used as a reference in several of these type of producer stories. So from Predator and Die Hard and all there's different movies. There's Predator, this Vera Verde, and yeah, you're right. He was the guy that helped put the people in power so he could get close enough to execute the guy, and that was pretty much the scheme. And he was turning on that. He's like, anyone they got the, and then they thought he was going there with the 11-hour thing. So. Oh, there's a saw blade part that got trimmed out. Yeah, okay. Thanks, G.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Arnold's like that's the other thing. Like the whole build up of the movie makes it seem like Arnold's carrying this giant log out to his wood cabin, like he's gonna now build an extension onto it. I had to get the perfect log.
I forgot about that saw blade part. So yeah, now I remember him being in that room and like it focused on the saw blades for a hot minute and then nothing. I remember those.
It's like if it's a that's how you get, that's the mark of a good movie. If we make sure we put in little scenes like that and we pay those off, we got something.
We got to let off some steam. So there we go. So, okay. So it was fun. It's silly. It's definitely full of all the cliches and tropes. So we had 80s action movie bingo. This movie is going to be a fast play. It's going to be a quick one. With that said, SQUEEKA, how did you come down on this movie? You want to watch this one again? You're like, all right, when it comes around, maybe. Or how did you feel about this one?
I mean, if I like am like, you know what, I need a little extra testosterone and some action. I could see me throwing this down and watching it again, but not in like the I've got to watch this again kind of scenario. Or if it comes on, I'll sit through it, but it's not a must watch. But that doesn't mean I didn't like it either. It's not up there in my top 20.
No, I don't think top 20 would be even something that. I mean, I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of people who really like to watch these type of action movies, and this is one of those that they love watching for that reason. They can turn their brain off and just laugh at the lines and see things explode and see Arnold shooting people, and it's just that it is what it is, and it doesn't try to pretend to be something really more than that. So, what about you, Ironcaster? I like I said earlier, I was shocked. I really hadn't watched this movie probably since 2022. So. That's full transparency. I probably watch it every few years for some sort of reason. Not like I'm avoiding the movie. It doesn't just make it doesn't make the rotations like Die Hard and Predator do.
It's a movie that like I said is sort of that iconic 80s action movie that you really can't go wrong with throwing on at any point. Especially if you want to go and like check off the boxes. You just want something that has like the dumb one-liners. You want to have like stuff exploding 5-6 times over just because it's awesome. You want to see a dude just covered in a mountain of gear, like get ready to go fight an entire army that you believe this man is going to single-handedly do it. All to save his daughter.
That's true.
And like, so I suppose for final scores, as far as 80s on like the scale of 80s action movies, this is a perfect like 5 out of 5 guns. And on the movie scale, this is the problem is the villains are pretty lackluster. They are really there just to have a tinfoil like straw character for Arnold to go up against. They aren't characters you really get super into. They're they're vaguely like, they're vaguely looking to take over some island nation and he has to do stuff for a reason. So,
and there's like 50 movies that are like that, right? I mean, even James Bond movies, and just like pick a movie. This is the 80s and into the 90s trope that just goes on forever. And yeah, so no, I think it's fair. I think you're being pretty fair with the movie. I think you're being honest about, and I think that's where most people would come down on it. Like if you just want the testosterone-driven, violent action movie, like you said, SQUEEKA, I'd throw that in again. Wouldn't be opposed to watching it again, but I'm not seeking it out, kind of thing.
I would say at the end of the day, it is a solid 3 out of 5 stars. Like it's one you can throw on and have a lot of fun with, but you're not getting strong characters.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry. You are getting a strong character in Arnold.
I guess there's one character, right? There's a whole bunch of other stuff happening around said character. So, but I would say I don't know who brought up the name. The name is pretty cool. It would have been neat to see more stuff come out of that. And since Jeff Loeb was a creator of this, I wonder if they just handcuffed him with the rights that he couldn't do a comic book or something like that. Because that would have seemed like an obvious thing you could have done. A line of action stuff or something, but maybe not. Maybe the studio locked it all down. It's kind of a shame. So we'll see more.
If
in
if
that
I
regard.
if I had to put a face to the weakest part of this movie, it's Bennett.
Yeah,
I'm with you on
for
that.
sure.
Commando looks like it could have had sequels, but Rambo is more of a franchise to build sequels. Yeah, it's funny because there was kind of a delay between those sequels as well. And this was supposed to have a sequel, but again, Arnold's got other stuff to do. It just didn't work, and it ended up evolving into Die Hard. So the script that was kind of leaning that direction was going to own that script for Die Hard, and then no, they went in a different direction. But yeah, I mean, poor Bennett. I mean, it's just it doesn't work to be versus Arnold being another crazy. And he almost feels like he should be like the third guy or something, not like so front and center to be like that final battle guy. Just didn't seem to work real well. But yeah, but yeah, that was the thing was something like that. But really, when we look at movies of that time, the Predator movie is sort of like the quintessential sort of like sequel to these kinds of movies like that. There's tons of others, I'm sure, that we can come up with, but yeah, it's good stuff. It's fun. I'm with you. I think I'm more like a 2.5 out of 5, like a 5 out of 10, maybe. But I'm not opposed to giving it an extra little bump, especially if you're into action movies, you're into that era, you're into all that. Obviously, and then you start talking about that explosion gun one-liner stuff. It's like it's in that perfect niche of that type of stuff. It's a definitive movie for that niche and genre of movie. That's for sure. So if nothing else, SQUEEKA can check it off her box of, I've seen that Arnold movie. Sure, I've seen that movie. So
Yep, it's another Arnold. Yay!
And plus, I think it sort of serves as the perfect encapsulation of all the films, of all these action movies of this time. Like, a lot of them you really don't need to see, but this gives you a good sample of a lot of that. Like, yeah, they're going to be fun. You're going to you kind of get the gist of like what to expect with all those.
Yeah. And with that said, we did get something else. He didn't tell me he had done this. I talked about doing this before the end of the year, and I just saw it pop up on Twitter right before we started, so I couldn't even make the switcheroo. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it or not, but Chris Persia has been at work. Look at our image. Look at our room. Oh, what happened? Why did it go away?
Uh-oh.
That was weird. Look at that.
It looks like a drink.
We've got a lamp in the corner now. We got a speaker going on. This is looking good.
I don't see anything. Am I crazy?
Nope, I don't see anything.
You don't see anything?
No, just your icon of you as an alien drinking a Dr. Pepper.
All right, I'm confused. What's going on?
It says no connection. Maybe if he sent it my way, I can show it off.
You just want to put stuff in stuff.
Of course. No.
Did that put us back together?
I mean, you're back.
Can you see that this?
Dude is still. No, it still says offline.
All right. All right. I don't know why it will do that. That's weird. All right. I'm going to close it and then open it more indirectly. That's so weird.
Yeah, don't let anyone think we have all these jokes and all these plans fully fleshed out, because sometimes things just kind of come up and happen the way they do.
Well, Evie Mux is completely different. All right. Is it there now?
No, sir.
It is not. All right, I'm done trying. I'll just let it go. You are sharing without sharing your system sound. Ironcaster, go over to Twitter and find Chris Persia's thing and just see if you could find it real quick. And we'll find it. So, but I asked about, like, can we get like a different type of overlay? SQUEEKA, you had talked about how at Christmas time you used to have red chairs, and it had like a different feel, like we're looking at a screen together. And then the new version kind of just had a more of a close up, so you just couldn't quite see it. So let's see if it made. There it goes. And
here we go.
There it goes.
Aww.
See how cool we look? Chris Persia, man.
I like Ironcaster's luscious locks.
I know.
Yeah, he's got long, beautiful, flowing locks, Ironcaster.
Gotta make sure I brush that.
Yeah, you do. You got to take care of it. You got to make sure you moisturize, condition, and do your thing.
Put stuff in it.
Yeah. You got to support it by putting stuff in it.
Yep.
Stuff in the stuff.
There we go. All brushed. Wait.
And SQUEEKA did promise me to help me find an image that'll be more like SQUEEKA Giggles as a new emoji. So we'll add a SQUEEKA Giggles emoji once we get that figured out. So yeah, we get a new emoji in the deal. So all of the IRONCASTER and the LOKI Zardoz emojis won't be alone when I have a SQUEEKA one as well. So that'll be fun for folks to throw out your emojis. I don't see a lot of emoji action in chat like we used to. So yeah, you members, you got to do a little better with that. And yeah, I know she said it best here, streaming pains, new software. Yeah, EVMux, as you guys have seen me constantly like putting up the big box and just the way it flows, it doesn't like put you back to where you left off. It keeps going to like a default, and it's just a weird sequencing you have to kind of do. It's not bad. So she's giving this a 3 out of 5 if you need to wear under. So I was saying, all right, going Commando, we're combining 2 different universes. Yeah, interesting.
Now, is it a good thing if you take one off on the point scale here? Like you're only getting 2 out of 5 speedos, or do you want a full 5 out of 5 speedos? Is less more?
I'm a little too old to be doing the Commando thing, so I'm going to keep my drawers on, and I'm going to stick with my 2.5 out of 5 score.
Yeah,
so,
I'm going to give it a 3 stuffs out of stuffs. Is what I'm going to give it.
Yeah, 3 stuffs out of stuffs. Yeah, we're gonna stuff 3, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think it's a fun experience. I'm glad we kind of like had a 40th anniversary though. Like this is the peak of the 80s. This is this massive thing. This is the same year as the Rambo sequel. It didn't really quite do great. It did all right at the box office, but like Back to the Future was the thing that year. Like everybody's talking about Back to the Future. It was such a huge deal. So we're going to talk about Back to the Future soon. So for sure. But yeah, Back to the Future was a massive, massive film that year. But yeah, 40 years of peak 80s, man.
Someday I'll watch Back to the Future too.
Have you watched Back to the Future? You haven't watched Back to the Future, have you?
No, I have not.
Yeah, that's why we added it to the list.
As also, like not 2, like the second.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why we moved it up to February. We're like, we got to make sure we get that off the list before someone else tries to rope her into a stream where she gets to see it. She'll watch it with us first. Darn it.
Yeah. Although I will admit, I'm not the biggest Back to the Future fan.
Totally fine. Totally fan. I have a thing where I love Back to the Future. I've grown up with Back to the Future. Like I've grown up with Terminator, but I'm willing to admit I am one of the biggest critics of time travel movies. Time travel movies have all sorts of issues. And the only way that most of them work is if they can at least try to create rules that they live by. But usually if you dig deep enough, long enough, or you take a step back, you'll find flaws in your own reasoning. Like there is a moment, and I think Back to the Future 3, if we think about it, there actually are 4 DeLoreans that exist. You know, you've got the one that they're driving around on. There's one that's hidden in a cave there's one, there's all sorts of things that will break your brain if you got to think them through. So yeah, it's like that. It's like one of those things where, you know, so I'm good, but it's a fun time. I think SQUEEKA will have fun with that movie. That's the thing. And if you're not already on the inside joke on some of those lines and references, SQUEEKA will get caught up on some of those. Man.
Well, the thing is that it's one of those movies that has such a cultural footprint that even if you've never seen the movie, you're going to get enough of the references just by that cultural osmosis, as it's been brought up in so many other films.
Well, even in gaming, like you can get a flux capacitor in Minecraft. I mean,
exactly.
I know parts of it, and I know of it. I've just never actually watched the movie.
SQUEEKA, we gotta go back.
Yeah, there's so many lines, there's so many moments, but before we get there with Back to the Future, so let's talk about what else everybody's got going on. IRONCASTER, my friend, I have not got to be checked and mech'd for this week, so I have some catching up to do on what you've been working on. So tell everybody what's on your schedule, my friend.
Well, Monday nights I do the Mech Pit chat, and this week we really sat down and nerded out over this recently announced Gundam war game, which is kind of scratching an itch that I've had for like 20 years of wanting to be able to have that, Warhammer aesthetic of being able to like get my little army of mobile suits and fighting with other Gundams and all that. And so me, Punkwaddle, Snacks and friends, Gator, we just nerded out over that for about an hour last night, and yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. We're over there. We do a little bit of that kind of positive pop culture spin with a little slant more towards some of the big stompy robots and Sentai superheroes and Power Rangers. This is kind of like a fun little niche of a niche over in that little corner, but we'll still kind of delve into some more popular topics, like, hey, maybe when the new Superman movie comes out.
All right. That sounds good. SQUEEKA, you got a show coming up, or are you just going to be exclusive for us for a week or so?
I do play 7 Days to Die on Thursdays nights after Roman's show with Beard of Liberty.
You and Beard? Okay, cool.
I know that Jana and I postponed our Wonderland episode. We haven't really had an update, or we haven't kind of figured out when we're going to pick that back up again. But other than that, no, I just kind of chill out with y'all and hang out with Beard. That's
awesome.
my
Yeah, Chi, this was really something that people who didn't grow up in the 80s get the fact that Huey Lewis was kind of big in the early part of the 80s, and then the Back to the Future Power of Love song. So we had like 10 years of Huey Lewis. It just didn't really stop. So
no, it didn't.
Kind of one of it, and it didn't stop. And then once that ended, he was completely gone from the pop culture landscape. Like everyone from my age will know Huey Lewis and stuff, but it's not like I've been to a Huey Lewis concert. It's not like anyone talks about Huey Lewis. It's not like it, but Power of Love comes to the radio though. I know all these. I know all the words. I'm singing along in my head, even if I don't want to. So
who was that other guy? Peter Gabriel, I think, was like that. Wasn't he like?
Yeah. Peter Gabriel has a longer career with a lot more music under his belt, even though like Sledgehammer and some of those are the ones that people think of most. There are a lot of other songs kind of like in the movie, in the music industry. And then there are songs that he's done that people don't think of him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where that's kind of thing. Sting would probably be a better example where Sting was associated from that era. Yeah. So but before I get too further into other stuff, I mean, busier week. I'm going to be doing a Thursday show with Gord. He's going to be I'm going to try to, for people that can meet with me midday or Eastern time, around late morning or midday on Eastern time. I'm going to be doing kind of like some more live streaming. So this Thursday I'll be on with Gord. Gord's going to do the it's called Arrival. It's a 2016 alien invasion movie or whatever with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. It's my first time watching it. I have never seen it. So he's going to come over and talk about that. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to flip-flop because he's never seen Contact. So we're going to flip. So I'll be doing that with Gord. And then I'll be back at my Friday Popscast this week. And boy, I'm going down memory lane. The Midnight Movie Express experience, talking about cult movies and some of the ones that were kind of at the very beginning of this sort of era for me. I know it predates me by a long shot, but this was what we went through. I'm going to talk about some of those. But for Ironcast, I want to make sure he came back because I wanted to share. I had not been down to a comic shop for a while. So I know you have seen all these. I don't know which ones you actually have, but I wanted to share that I was able to get, because they have so many covers, I was able to get a few more covers of the Conan book. So this
excellent.
Is one of the issues. And they're just these beautiful, fun. Yeah. Beautiful work. Able to get 4 or 5 of covers that I didn't have. So it's really like that. And there's some covers I didn't care for, but for the most part, these were ones I just really loved. So yeah, each one of these was nice. I was able to work that out. So I got 5 more in the old catalog, if you will. So yeah, so been a busy week ahead. So, and yeah, And good. So next week was Excalibur. Now, SQUEEKA, I think you're going to love Excalibur. And Excalibur is such a good movie. You love timepiece stuff. You love history. You love, what would be the best way to explain it, Cass? Like the cultural immersion. She loves that part. Like you're living in that world kind of feeling. What would be, that? You express that you love a lot of that.
Well, in this case, I guess it'd be that Arthurian.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But she like when we watched Seven Samurai. Remember how she was into the costuming and all the historical armor and stuff. So it's not nearly as deep and good, as dramatic as that, but it is at least that kind of experience.
I guess in that case, it'd probably be more that that immersive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very well executed. I love it. Great cast. Yeah,
it's believable and feels lived in, authentic.
Oh, that's very true.
Ooh, I'm excited then.
Yeah. So next week's Excalibur, and I am thrilled to watch Excalibur again. It's one of those that I don't always get to watch every year because it's not one Mrs. Pops will watch. So I'm kind of stuck squeezing that one in. It doesn't always get to kind of be on, and I'm thrilled to get a chance to watch it a couple times between now and next Tuesday. So. But folks, I want you to be blessed. Loki, everything's fine with Loki. He had doctor's appointment. Stuff came up. He couldn't be with us tonight after all, but sends his best, his love. We're really excited about 2025 stuff we have going on, stuff we're going to be watching and sharing. And yes, thank you for hanging and enduring all of the, I don't want to say glitches, but, technical bumps in the road, if you will, as the old man's trying to learn how everything works differently in different software. But, StreamYard, it's like a 30% price hike for no reason. Like, it's just a waste. Like, I don't get it. It's not like it's that great of a service. You just get used to using something because you use it so often. But at the end of the day, it's like every other service out there is not that different. So
you just got to figure out what stuff to put in what stuff.
Yeah, just exactly. Got to get my stuff right and stuffing my stuff right as the theme for tonight. If that's makes and look at Scott Westbrook. Thank you, Scott. $5, man. Thank you so much, man. It's a Shiba Inu dog clapping his hands. Very cool. Appreciate that, my friend. Listen, man, Scott, be safe out there, man. Stay warm. A little chilly everywhere, man. Man, Ironcaster's got like below 20 at night, man. That's crazy. Oof, I can't even imagine.
You get used to it.
Us Texans in Florida. No, us Texans and Floridans are like, no, thank you. You can keep all that crap.
You see, the secret is like all those ugly Christmas sweaters. You kind of need them until like February, maybe March. They don't go away. They just kind of get cycled in with the regular clothes.
If the temperature drops below my age, I'm staying inside. So if it's less than 188 outside, I'm in.
She's an indoor mouse. I don't want to tell you, folks. Listen, everybody, thank you again for being here, hanging out with us. Ironcaster, SQUEEKA, I love you both. Thank you for doing this. It's always a blast. Everybody be blessed. Till next time, talk hard, and take care, everybody.